Hi friends, this is Jim. This is my 2024 Trax. Today we're talking to you a little bit about some of the technical specifications of this vehicle. A little different than the previous videos that I've done, which are more entertainment driven. This has to do with some of the things that are about the vehicle that are technically special about this vehicle, and one of the reasons that you might put this on your list. This is my personal vehicle. I chose to purchase it, and I'm going to explain why and why it matters. First and foremost, we're looking at that 19-inch wheel. It's a large size wheel. The tire is wide, larger rim, larger tire. All these things matter because it does give you better grip. In terms of just the way the vehicle is set up, it's very wide from side to side. It's wider than vehicles that are in classes below it. It's wider than vehicles that it's in its class. And what's interesting, it's actually wider than some of the vehicles in a class above it. So it really does have that in spades. Let's go ahead and take a look at the engine for a minute. When you open it, it's right in the center. You get this right here. I will say that one of the reasons I chose to do a technical review of this vehicle, and I'm starting in the engine, is because unlike some of the other people that review these vehicles, I actually owned a General Motors product with this same type of engine setup. I had it for 55,000 miles, and I did not have one day of trouble with that setup. Let me say that again, not one day of trouble. What does that mean exactly? So first of all, this is an i3 turbo engine. So for those of you that don't know, 3-cylinder versus 4-cylinder versus 6-cylinder, it really doesn't matter. What matters is it a durable setup? And I've already proven through my own experience, being in sales, driving all over the road, driving like crazy, hitting that gas, hitting that brake, I had not one day a problem. And here's what you need to know. Sorry about the big truck going by. Here's what you need to know about this engine. It's incredibly durable. In fact, the durability of this is no different than it is from any other extremely durable engine. But what's interesting about the 3-cylinder engine is it's more efficient. It also has the sound of a 6-cylinder. The sound of this engine is quite amazing because of the 3-cylinder nature of it. You're losing an echo chamber, and an echo chamber kind of, on the sound of it, sounds like a lot like a 6. So what you're looking at here, it's got the Dexos oil system. They have a new type of radiator system with fan and coolant that even in the hottest conditions, we're talking 120 degrees, we're talking excessive driving. I've already seen this. The car does not reach temperatures above 50% on the gauge on the inside. And I was really surprised at this yesterday when I was driving it, and it was 98 degrees all day long, and I was driving in very heavy traffic all day long to Miami. So just in terms of what you're looking at, you've got your air inflow system. I mentioned this is how you open it, and it's right there. It does have a standard prop right there. This right here, these are going to be some of your fuses. You're going to have also through here along the back, that's your turbo shield. Do you guys see that? That's your turbo shield. Now, having had several turbos, I now on my 6.1, one of the things that impressed me is the thickness of that. And that's designed to keep that heat shielded from the vehicle. It's a very thick, very good quality turbo shield. That right there is your computer system. This right here, I don't know if you can see that, coolant fluid. That right there, you're going to interact with. That is your windshield wiper fluid. It's right in the front. Just take the windshield wiper fluid, stick it upside down in that, and you're good to go. Always a good idea to have that be empty so it'll take the whole thing. So one of the things about the vehicle that you guys should know is that what makes a vehicle quiet has to do with this. These are mounting for the engine. This is a mounting bracket in the here and over there. There's all these mounting brackets, and if they're done correctly, they're very quiet. This has General Motors, and Buick does this a lot. It's got a quiet tuning in this. So what does that mean? That means that the noise from this engine does not intrude into the cabin. I have noticed a stop start. You don't even hear it, but it goes off. It's amazing to me that they were able to figure out how to do that. So technically speaking, one of the biggest questions that people have has to do with the transmission. Let's go underneath this car. Say hi to the Chevy bow tie there. So under this car, this is a new car. It's really beautiful under there. It's a bottom part of the engine right there, right? You got your filter right there. It has to do with what's underneath the vehicle. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's all covered here in the front. See the wires that go through the center section of that. Most people don't look under their car. See the muffler right in the center? You would never guess that the muffler is actually in the center. We're gonna go around to the back of it. I do want to show you the transmission. And as I'm doing that, I want to talk to you about the transmission. So General Motors has a 6-speed transmission in this. So speeds 1 through 5 are designed for acceleration and really quick acceleration. In fact, I would say 0 to 45, most cars, including electric cars, cannot keep up with this vehicle from 0 to 45. Friend going by in his van. But what's interesting about this vehicle is that it's not that 1 through 5 are the acceleration and that 6 is for highway cruising and good fuel economy. No. That's not what's interesting about the transmission of this 2024 Chevrolet Trax. What's interesting about the transmission, let's go into the vehicle. What's interesting about the transmission, and there's your muffler right there, right? See it? And I don't know if you can see some of that shielding that's under there as well. But just showing you some of the underneath parts of your vehicle. What's interesting about it is the 6-speed transmission is GM's third version of this, and it is a known quantity. It is a durable quantity. It's a durable, well-known transmission to them. They know that it's reliable. They know that there's no problem with it. And what I also want to share with you is this vehicle's actually already been out overseas for 1.5 years before it got here. If this vehicle was going to have a problem, guess what? We would already know about it. It would already be news everywhere. There's the muffler. I'm just kind of showing you that. There's the back side of the wheel. A lot of people don't even realize the components that are underneath their vehicle. Take a look at that. There's your shock absorber right there. See that? So in terms of fuel economy, I want to share with you a little bit about fuel economy in my 2RS. So one of the factors when you put in fuel is people always want to know, what am I going to get for my fuel? Well, it depends upon how you drive the vehicle. I've been known to drive the vehicle very aggressively. I'm a type A personality. I'm an Aries. I don't care to be relaxed. It's just not my thing. I'm not an introvert. I'm an extrovert. But here's the thing. Even with all of that, I still save a lot of fuel, and here's why. I do 2 things that are really smart. Number 1, I get up to speed, I find my own lane, and I try to stay within it. That helps with the fuel economy. The other thing that I do is in city traffic, I try to glide to a stop. I don't accelerate to a stop. If I see the traffic light ahead is red, I glide to that stop. Why would you race up and use fuel? I glide to it. I go slowly. That saves fuel. Once I get there, I do use the auto stop start on this vehicle. Guys, curb weight on this vehicle is about 3,000 pounds. Now here's what's interesting about this vehicle. I want to talk a little bit about electric versus gas and why I did not buy an electric vehicle. So first and foremost, at 3,000 pounds, if you take a look at a comparably sized electric vehicle, they weigh nearly twice as much. They're doing environmental damage by ripping up the road, the need for all of that to be replaced much sooner. The other thing is that this particular vehicle also does exceedingly well in very wet conditions. It's high enough off the ground that it's handled pretty deep puddles, and this neighborhood does tend to flood. And this vehicle has handled it really, really nicely. Some of those batteries have been known to corrode. That's one of the issues with it. The other thing is to get every one of my neighbors on an electric car versus a gas like this one would mean we would have to double or triple the electric lines that would be necessary to power all those cars, like plugging in 8 refrigerators at night. And imagine all your neighbors plugging in 8 refrigerators at night to power up their electric cars. They're not using the sun. Currently, going through the wires, you're looking at 11% green energy. So the problem with this is that there's no way to currently recycle affordably wind turbines, and insurance companies are dropping people who have the solar panels up on their roof. So what does that mean? Well, essentially it means that the way that we have this green energy isn't really working that great. There's another factor involved in this too, and that is that the lithium ion that's necessary to make those batteries, they've got to get into the earth, they've got those big leach fields, and the other thing is that they've been known to catch on fire. So now you have all these residual issues. To me, it would be much more effective to go to a hydrogen type of setup with thorium nuclear. This is a different way to do energy. Anyway, I'm just talking to you a little bit about some technical specs and why I did not go electric. And anyway, I hope that you will consider the 2024 Trax as your next vehicle. Guys, I have found, technically speaking, this is a tremendous vehicle for all of the features that are on it. It's a very reliable setup. Talk to you later.